it's Leah. I am back with our next Make This With Me project. We are making a pocket mini album with they're also going to have flaps in the pages, and it's something that you can throw in your purse or throw in your book bag or keep in your locker at school, whatever you'd like to use it for. It's a great little mini brag album or brag book. Okay, it can also be used as a recipe holder, whatever you'd like. Okay, we are going to be using, if you have it, the Paper Pumpkin April Kit pockets, just the brown pockets. So if you have them, they look like this when you get the piece, and you go ahead and you fold it up so that it looks like this, okay? And for those of you who don't know how to fold them, I will show you right here. Okay, and we are gonna make this for those of you who don't have the kit, okay? So you're just gonna fold it this way. Fold in these little tape pieces, burnish really quickly, take your tapes off. Stick it down, and then burnish each of the sides so that it lays nice and flat, okay? And then you'll have a pocket just like this. And right now I'm going to show you how to make a pocket just like this, okay? You're going to need, if you have 12 by 12 cardstock, that was probably for the best. You're going to cut four pages into 6-inch wide strips by 6 inches, okay? Then you're going to cut them down from 12 inches down to 6 5/8, okay? So you end up with a piece that looks like this. Next, we are going to, if you have 8.5 by 11, you're going to need 8 sheets. I'm sorry, it takes up a lot of pages. Okay, next, once you have your paper that is 6 by 6 5/8, you're going to measure in and score 1/2 inch in from each side, both the long and short sides, just like this. 1/2 inch that way, turn. Do another 1/2 inch. Okay, then you're going to come in 3 1/8. Okay, and for those of you who don't know where those measurements are, I'm gonna zoom in. Do I have it on? Yeah. Ooh, wrong way. Sorry, saw my mess of a desk. Can you see still? Okay. Now, everybody pretty much, I would hope by now you're familiar with, we'll start here at 1. Okay, so that'd be a 1/2, and that's a whole inch. So, and these longer ones are 1/4. And then these littler ones in between those are 1/8. So you have 1/8, skip past the 1/4, then you have 3/8, then the 1/2, 5/8, then 3/4, and then 7/8. Okay? 1, 3, 5, 7. Okay? So now you know that, and you're good to go there. And let's come back up. Oh, okay, there we go. All right, so you're going to measure 3 1/8 in from the edge that does not have the score, and score there. So now you have a piece that has a score mark at 3 1/8, a 1/2 inch in from the side, and a 1/2 inch in from the bottom. Okay? Next, you are going to measure down. I'm sorry, yes. So if this is the edge with the scoring, and this edge has no scoring on the long side, you're going to come in 1 1/2 inches and then 3 inches. Okay? This 1 1/2 inch mark, you're going to go all the way into the score mark and cut that away. Okay? So, score mark here, and this is your other one, and your other score is on the right. The first mark of 1 1/2, you're going to cut that away. You come back down on this score mark here. There we go. And take that out. Next, you're going to go from this score mark that was at 3 inches into the corner here and cut that away. Okay. So you find the corner, put it right in there. Find your score mark. Find your measurement. Okay, and now you have a piece that looks like this. Next, you're going to cut away this section down here. From there to the score mark. And just cut this away like this. Okay. Cut in at an angle here. And go straight across the X there. And that's it. That's the whole piece, guys. Super simple. Oops. And you need to make 7 more, so you have 8 of them. And then just like the other one, you're gonna fold here, fold here, fold here, and glue it all down, okay? And you should be all set. And then make 8 of these total. And if you want, you can round the corners, but it's not necessary because you are gonna be gluing a hinge and you are going to be putting a cover on. So it's up to you if you want rounded corners or not, okay? So now I'm gonna take my 8 pieces. Now, you have a choice. If you want to continue and make the book with the cover, you can just follow what we're doing. If not, you can put a ring through the top and then make a cover piece that fits the two pieces that I'm going to make for the front and the back of the cover. You can make and just put a ring hole through it and put a ring loop through it, okay? But we are going to do a binding. So what we're going to do is you're going to take a piece of paper. This is 8.5 by 11 cardstock, the same as the craft that we were using to make the page, okay? And you are going to make it 5.5 tall, and then you are going to make it 8 wide, and then every 1/2 inch you're going to make a mark. Okay, so let's make it 8 wide. Okay. Now, you're going to score 1/2 inch and then skip, and then score 1/2 inch and then skip. I find that when I need to make a score mark on a piece of paper that's going to be 1 inch wide, it's easiest if I do all my scoring before I make my cuts. Because it's really hard. On my personal experience, it's hard to score a piece of paper that's 1 inch wide, or to cut it down after you've scored it. So I'm just skipping my marks. So you make your first score mark on the first 1/2 inch mark, and then you skip 1 inch and you make a mark and you make a score. Okay. Turn this one around so it's just a little bit easier. That way this stays nice and flush and you get a good square score. Okay, then I'm going to take and make my cuts. So now on the other score, on the other marking that I made, I just cut my piece down. And then I have my nice 1 inch piece with the 1/2 inch score mark. Can you see? All right, there we go. And you should end up with 8 of these. My 8 pieces. I'm going to burnish them all, fold them all in half, burnish them, and then I'm going to cut them. So you make your V. And then you take and you cut like this towards the top. 1, do it again. There you go. And they should all look like this when you're done. Okay, so go ahead, make those, and then we'll come right back. Okay, great. So once you have all your pieces, okay, you can go ahead, and the next thing you can make will be the flap piece that folds out, and these should be 3 1/4 wide by 5.5 tall, and then you're gonna score 1/4 inch in on each end and fold in that piece just like that. Okay, you can do that to all of them. Okay, so now we have our hinges and the little flap page. Okay, in a moment we're going to glue everything together. And we're going to start by gluing this page on and then gluing all our pages to each other. Okay. Just get these last few done. My desk's a little messy today, huh, guys? Yeah, you should see the top part of it. I haven't cleaned it in weeks. And I feel like, oh my gosh, it's such a disaster. It feels a little small. Doesn't feel like it went. Is it 3? Okay. Now, the reason I said 3, even though our page is 3 1/8 wide, is so that you have just a little bit of room here so that we're not all the way into the edge of our page. Because I know I said in my last tutorial, you don't want to go all the way to the edge because then your pages don't fold and close together correctly, okay? So now I know you can see the hole that's coming out, but we're going to cover that. If you're not using the ring binding, obviously you're going to want to cover it, okay? So I'm going to just take, and each of the pages should be pocket side down. Let's move the hinge out of the way first, okay? Glue along the edge on that little gusset or hinge or whatever you want to call it. It's not really a gusset, is it? Okay. And just get right into the edge there. You want to go all the way to the outside, because that's going to be the outside that's facing the open part of our book. And we do not want, see how I have a little space there? Is it showing? I had a really hard time focusing today, but there's just this little bit there. You can see it. It's just a teeny tiny bit, but it's just enough. Okay. Just make sure that's on there nicely and not glued shut. Okay. And then if you have a rounded corner at the top, you're going to want to come back in and just round your corner. Yeah, you might want to use a stronger punch. Find my envelope punch board. It's around here somewhere. It's around here somewhere. But yeah, you're going to want to come in and punch all your corners, okay? So let's get each of these glued down, and then at the end you'll want to do that. So here we go. And again, you just lay it down straight, and you just get right against the edge. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Make sure you're nice and flush at the bottom, because when you put your book down, you are going to want to make sure that nothing's hanging out of the bottom, so you don't get a kind of wobbliness to your book where it doesn't stay perfectly square, or that you see things poking out of the bottom of your book. Okay. Keep going. Okay, you can use tape for this if you want. You don't necessarily have to use wet glue. Okay. Just make sure when you go to lay it down that you've got it on there perfectly, because it's hard to, a 1/4 of an inch little end there. It's kind of hard to pull it up and renegotiate it once you've gotten it put down with tape. As opposed to maybe like a 1/2 inch or 3/4 inch. Here you can see this one came out a little bit bigger gap. Okay. So I'm gonna finish these up, and then when I come back, we'll glue the hinges on, okay? Okay, so now we have all our pages glued together and our corners punched, okay? Now we're gonna glue on the hinges, okay? Now this is where it's gonna get a little tricky, so just try to follow along. The first hinge, you are gonna glue, you open up the flap, and you glue the hinge right down. Okay? This is the very first page. Okay. And it stays just like this. All right. Furnish. Set this page aside. That is your very first page. The next one, this side gets glued down. The front side, you're going to cut down 1.5 inches. Where's my pencil? Where's my pen? We'll use this pen. Okay. Okay. So I come in 1.5 inches. Now, the reason that we're going to cut this down is that it's going to go here. So this part will eventually get glued to this part, and this back piece is the one we're going to glue down now. Okay? And then once you cut down 1.5 inches, you're just going to cut an angle. Okay. And don't worry about how this looks because it's going to get covered up by your decorative paper. Okay. So again, this is the first page, set it aside. Okay. Then we glue this page. Okay. And all the other hinges are going to look like this. Okay. With the right side, the regular size, and the other one come down 1.5 inches and then cut at a diagonal, okay? And then glue it, open your flat, and glue that piece down. Okay, don't start gluing them back to back yet because you're gonna want to, if you have rounded corners, punch all of these corners so you don't have this little bit hanging out. Can you see it? That little itty bitty bit. You know, if it doesn't bother you, that's fine. It bothers me because I'm crazy. And again, don't put your hinge completely to the edge, okay? All right. So you're just going to make all the rest of these like that. So we'll do it again. Open your flat. Get this piece. 1.5 inches. Did I already lose it? They're right in front of my face. Cut down 1.5 inches. And then cut at an angle. Okay. My glue. I tried thinking of an easier way to do this, and I'm sure there's lots of easier hinges, but I feel like as I went along, this just keeps getting, I'm not going to say unnecessarily complicated. It's just complicated because of the angled pocket. You don't want to have that long piece covering up part of your pocket. Okay. Next one. 1.5 inches. Okay, and the hinge will still work great, okay? It's just that you don't want to glue, again, over that pocket and have that all be closed up. Okay, when you go to make your pockets, you may want to make, the decorations for your pockets, you may want to make a template so that you don't have to keep measuring every single time you go to decorate. You can just use your template on your decorative paper. That's this however size you want to cover that. And you know, if you wanted to cover it all the way to the edge, or if you wanted to leave a little bit showing, you know, you'd have to decide that before and then make a template. It makes cutting easy, go faster. I don't suggest that you assemble your book all together before decorating the pages, but that's up to you. If you find it easy to decorate your pages with the book assembled, by all means do that. I'm one that I don't like to have anything completely on the hinge until I'm done. The only thing that you would need to wait until you put all of the pieces, all of it together before you glue on that decorative paper is whatever is going to go on the pocket, because you're going to glue the hinge to the pocket section and then you would cover the pocket section with the paper. Okay, but all the rest of it, if you wanted to, you could decorate it ahead of time, like all these pieces in here, however you would like to do it. Okay, but for the sake of demonstrating how to finish the book up, I am going to glue everything together ahead of time. Okay. So again, once you got into this point, you punch your corners, and then we'll glue everything together. So I'm going to go ahead and punch my corners, and then I will show you how to assemble the whole book completely. Okay, so hopefully by now you've seen the annotation saying that you needed 9 hinges because I don't know what's wrong with me today, guys. Because you need a last one to go like this for the back cover. Okay, so we're going to start gluing our pages together. You're going to start with the first page that has the hinge here on this side, and this was the only one again that had the full hinge. Okay, turn it this way. You're going to put glue here on the short one. and glue it down. Just like that. Really simple. Making sure everything is nice and square with each other. Okay, and we're going to keep going, and you just keep gluing the short hinge to each pocket one, and then when that's it. That's really all there is to it. And then after this, once you get everything glued together, I'm going to show you how to make the cover. Okay, so again, oh, I forgot to punch the corner. Whoops, I did say I was going to go. Oh, you know what happened? There was an emergency and I got totally distracted. My son managed to break a plate. And there was just shards of stuff everywhere. So I got distracted from what I was supposed to be doing, which was punching my corners, and had to go rescue my child from the kitchen. So, yeah, you did it again. So, you just keep going like this. And fold your page in. Make sure you're square. Okay, and the best way to make sure you're square, make sure these are this level together and these are together, okay? If you're curious whether or not it's working right, you go like this, and then you go like that, okay? And we're just gonna keep going and doing that for every single one, all right? And then when we get back, I'm gonna show you how to make the cover and how to attach it, and give you some decorating tips. Okay, so I'm gluing my last page on. And again, we just get it right against the edge there. Okay. Square it at the top. Square it this way. Oops. One more time, just make sure that's nice and flush. And you can see my my book is nice and flush together. Got a nice clean edge here and here. And then this is why, again, it's so important that you not have this go all the way into the edge. And I may have to cut this one down a little bit. You see how this one doesn't want to close as much, but look at how nicely the other pages are closed. I mean, this is a good example. You can see what happens. It just doesn't want to close as flush, but you can see all the other ones are nice and flush. So I'm just going to go in really quickly and trim that down just a little bit. Trim it. This is why I talk every single video. I'm certain I've said, don't get right into the corner, guys, because it will not close properly. And that just goes to show you, it's a prime example right there. It was just a tiny bit off, just a hair, just a fraction. But that was just enough. So we're going to cut that off just a little bit. That's not square. I don't know what just happened. It did not come out square at all. This is why it's also hard to do afterwards. Okay. Oh my God, these kids are just, I can hear them murdering their little faces in the other room. What are they doing? Okay, just gonna punch that again. And now it should fold up. See, look at the difference. Closes right up, really nice and flush. Okay. There we go. So, the last part we're going to do is get this hinge attached to here, and your book is actually all together as far as the inside of the pages, okay? Next, we're going to get some cardstock, I mean not cardstock, some chipboard. And we will make our covers. Okay, if you're concerned about not getting this as flush as you think you should, by all means, wait and attach this hinge to the cover and then attach the cover, okay? There we go. But I think I did all right. Okay, so next we're going to get some cards. I keep saying cardstock, guys. Chipboard. Okay, this again is just some chipboard I've had lying around for a while. What we want to do, since the book is 3 1/8 by about 5 1/2, we're going to make this 3 by 3 1/2 by 6. No, 3 and a quarter by 5 3/4, okay? So we're gonna measure. 5 3/4. And then we're gonna do 2 3 1/4 wide measurements. One. 2. Okay. So get this first one. And I'm just using my my Fiskars rotary cutter. I find that it works very good on chipboard. This is a very lightweight chipboard, so it's not so hard to get through. I just do a few passes, and I'm right through it. Try not to move the chipboard until you're able to pull the outside edge. Don't pull the one that you know is still on the one side of the cutter. That way you know that you got all the way through it. Like hold here and pull here, and that's how you'll be able to tell if it's done or not, okay? So here's our covers, and they're just a little bit bigger than the book, okay? So the book sits inside of it. We're gonna round the corners. I'm gonna use my, I find that the envelope punch board is great. I don't know how the Crop-A-Dile is because I don't own one, but I find anything lighter than lightweight cardstock. This is, you don't have the pressure in your thumbs to punch through it, but with your palm, putting the weight down, you have enough pressure. So we're just gonna do 2 corners on each side of the long sides, okay? So that's 2. And the other one. Okay, and there's our covers. Okay, I'm going to start with my back cover. I'm going to put my glue on here, right onto the hinge, as opposed onto the book, because the hinge is going to be smaller than the book. Okay. And I just want to make sure that I have about 1/8 of an inch on either side there. I'm going to open it up. I'm going to use this to burnish. There we go. Okay, now when I put my other cover on, I'm going to glue again onto the hinge. Okay, take my cover, I'm going to place it down, and then the first thing I'm going to do is line it up with the bottom edge, so I know that they're top to bottom at the same place, because again we're going to have a gap all the way around the book, and then I come down just like this. Make sure it's nice and flush. Do it again at the top, and then I carefully open my book, and I'm just going to run my fingers, or my, my tool right along the inside here. It's hard to see. Let me see if I can, there you go. Okay, just to make certain that I'm getting that on there right. And we're just going to double check again. And you just want to make sure, especially right here, this should be lined up right with the edge. And you can, it's kind of hard to see, but I'm not really lined up there. So I just want to take and slide that. And this is the beauty of using wet glue. I just slide it right to the edge. There we go. That's a lot better. Okay. And again, I do suggest using wet glue for this portion, just to be certain that you're getting the hinge in the right spot. Okay, there we go. Move that one a little. There we go. Open it up again. Just double check. Beautiful. Okay, guys, and that's the whole book. Okay, now to make little tag inserts for this, okay, well, we'll start here. The front page, here you can just decorate flat, you can add pictures, whatever you need to do, okay? And then here in the pocket will fit a, wait for it, 3x4 journaling card from any kit that you have. You can fit a 3x4 card here, or you can make it taller, but it'll fit right into the pocket because it's 3 and 1/8 inch. Okay, so this is a great way to use up your pocket scrapbooking inserts. They just fit really nicely right into those pages. Okay, and to decorate the pocket, where's my little, oh no, I had a little piece of paper here with all my measurements on it. Where'd it go? I don't think I cut it. All right, well, where will we measure? Okay, this piece here, you are 2 3/4 inches here. And then I would go 3 inches here, just so you're not all the way into here with the 3 1/8, okay? And then this part here is about 3 3/4. Okay, so you might do 3 3/4 by 3. And I would go about just under 2 3/4. Okay, and then cut that diagonal in. It'll be really easy when you're here and here. You'll be able to very easily cut the diagonal so you can glue and decorate here. I love little books like this because they're great to carry little photos in. School photos fit perfectly in here, wallet size photos. Okay, when you do your cover, you're going to want to first put the decorative paper onto the cover, like, right, here's a piece of scrap. So you decorate the front cover like this. Do it both sides, the front and the back, okay? Then before you go on to put your embellishments, you're gonna take a piece of paper, measure around however wide you want it to be, and you're gonna glue it around over this edge like this, just so you don't have this all exposed. Unless you like that look. Sometimes I do it, sometimes I don't. Just so it creates like a binding on the book, okay? What else can I tell you? Yeah, keep it simple with the decorating, because once you start to fill this up in these pockets, this is going to start to go like this. I like to do maybe a piece of ribbon. You can punch, this punches fairly easily, this chipboard. Do I have a little scrap? I mean, it punches really easily, so you could punch a hole here, and then put, before you decorate the inside page, put a string or something through both sides, and then glue the back side of the string down on the inside here and here, and then put your decorative paper over so it's covered and your little threads come out this way, and they can tie together to close the book. Okay, thank you so much for watching and following, and I would love to see what you've done. Please post them on the Reese and Marie Facebook page, and so I can see what you've been working on. Thanks so much, and have a great day.